Like there was a whole story today about China just landed on the far side of the moon. So they landed a probe over there.
Yeah, they did.
This is, you know, if there was the China-America war on the moon, like
Right.
what if America claims a spot and China lands and plants a flag there and you're like, hey, fuck you, that's
Right.
ours?
Now that's what's going to happen.
Especially if there's like something on the moon they can mine that's very valuable.
Oh, this stuff up there. I
Yeah.
researched the Clementine mission years ago. NASA and the United States military sent a military, at that time, it was a top secret mission called Clementine. It was a low lunar orbiting satellite to go to the dark side of the moon. And when I saw the name Clementine, I knew right away, this thing ain't coming back. And as I began to dig deeper into the declassified documents, of course, it never came back.
Why'd you think it's... Oh,
my
right.
darling Clementine,
That's
you
right.
were lost and gone forever.
Wow.
And I was right. And sure enough, it hit something on the dark side of the moon, which is really just the backside. It's not really dark there, but it hit something, but it sent back about 20 gigs of data. And these images are available to the general public. They've been declassified, and there are strange anomalies on those images. This is pre-Photoshop, pre-everything, things that shouldn't be there that look like broken structures and junk and things that just seem to be laying around. So I think it was a reconnaissance mission to gather intel and data, which is probably why China's gone to that far side of the moon as well, because they're probably going to. It's a race to see who can capture ancient technology and then reverse engineer it and then weaponize it.
Well, that's the most fun theory ever. The most fun theory ever is that there's bases on the moon and the dark side of the moon that aliens have abandoned.
Yeah.
Jamie, are there any photos of these anomalies? That's the most fun theory.
I can provide you some with links to the sources too.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. But Jamie will probably find something.
Cool.
So what do these structures look like to you when you look at them?
Just dome structures there.
A dome?
There's domes. As a matter of fact, one of the astronauts, I think it was Neil Armstrong, if you get the declassified from the Freedom of Information Act documents that are the black box audio and the black box redacted text statement from NASA, which is available to the general public, Neil says, look at those convex structures down there. I bet the people in there never get out. And he's talking about dome structures on the moon. And this is an exact statement that was made that's in the black box audio, which I can provide you to the link to that as well.
Okay, so where are these structures? Do you see any of these that you find
You need to
compelling?
look for anomalies on the backside of the moon. We utilize a lot of these on our Facebook groups. On Facebook, we have these groups, anomaly hunting groups. We formed the United Family of Anomaly Hunters, and we've cataloged about 60,000 anomalies now. A lot of them are on the dark side of the moon. But tell you, type in Clementine moon photos anomaly. You may be able to find some. If not, I'll send you the link to some resources where you can look them up, and you can take a look at some of these crazy objects that are there.
So is that one right there in the upper right-hand corner?
Yeah, that one's there. Some structure. Those kind of look like two pyramids to the left of it, and then another structure which almost seems like it has geometry. Now, underneath that, you see the blur? That looks like obfuscation. Directly, if you go back
Which
up
one?
to that top right.
Top right?
Yeah, top right, B. Okay, you see that where his hand is? Now move to the left going down slowly. See that? Go back up again. See that? Oh, where his hand is over right now?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like obfuscation. Sometimes you can take these images and put them into a Photoshop and take away the contrast, and all of a sudden structures pop right out. But right above that, you see those shadows of those pyramid structures?
Right above that.
Yeah, you see those pyramids? You can see this dark shadow.
I see two lines.
Okay.
I see the arrow that's pointing to that one straight line, and then I see what looks like two superimposed arrows.
Okay, do you see?
Yeah, those things.
Okay, yeah.
Those
Now-
are superimposed, right? Like,
No, those are shadows.
but look, those are the same things that are in the bottom. Aren't
Right.
they just pointing at something? Aren't those pointers?
I think they may be highlighting something.
Right.
there.
I think it's a
Yeah.
cursor mark or something. So what they're saying, I see what they're pointing to. They're pointing to that thing in the upper right-hand corner
see
that
it
kind of
there?
looks like a pyramid.
Yeah, you see that? You see that right there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like a pyramid.
It's cleaned up a little bit there in C. C is more clean. But those things don't look like they belong there.
Well, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. But now we have really that pyramid
Okay.
right there is very famous. That's a
where's
very
that
old
one?
image. That's on the moon. There should be a link to that. There's a lot of that. That particular one's been around for years and years and years. It's kind of hard to think that were formed by natural. Now, and what happens is we're not saying we know exactly what these things are. We're just saying that we feel like they don't belong there.
Jamie, go back to that image that you were just looking at, the thing that looked like a pyramid. That one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, get that one big. That one's crazy.
Yeah.
That one's very strange looking. Because the way it points at the top and has flat sides, like,
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, If that's real, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But
You know how tall that is, by any chance?
that's a good question.
There's a measuring tool. We don't have it, obviously, access to it right
seems
here.
so
but
flat
there is a measuring tool. You can see the shadow, which gives you an idea of the height.
I'd like to see it in real life, though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like sometimes things fuck with you. It's just, but the angle is so unnatural looking.
Yeah, it definitely looks unnatural. We just try to catalog things that appear to be anomalies, things that appear to be out of place.
Right. It could be anything.
And if in the Sumerian tablets, there's this time where Enlil takes his son to the moon, and he says, "Well, grab your eagle's mask because you're going to need it." They were referencing that the atmosphere was harsh.
Oh,
So when you see the Anunnaki with the eagle's head, that's actually their helmet. It's a helmet.
so they could breathe our air.
Exactly. They talk about it twice. Once to go to the moon, and the second time to go to Mars.
Yeah, and there's been other depictions of ancient gods and people that look like they're wearing some kind of mask too.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, one of the cooler ones is the bubble space head looking guys in the cave.
Yes.
And you're like, what did you guys see?
Right.
Like, what did you guys see in the middle of like hunting gazelles, trying to stay alive, trying to make a fire, and then you decided to draw that thing?
Right.
What is that?
And we know they can draw because they can show you what a gazelle is. They can show you what cattle is. They can show you what a person looks like.
Yes.
But then they draw that, and you have to think, well, why?
Right. Why is that the only thing you drew that's fake?
Right. Exactly. They just
it
have
looks
time
like-
to waste.
And it looks like a dude in a suit with a helmet on. Like,
Right.